Dragged Paul and I back onto our bunk beds.
Savor these last moments of your lives. Mother's negotiating to have you two executed.
Mukon shot me a glare. I leaned back until I bumped into the wall behind me.
Just what does the commander see in you? It's truly a mystery.
All Finyomu and I had was a little chat. There's no need to think too much of it. Mukon's face twitched upon hearing those words. She must be contemplating whether to cut me down right here and now.
Listen well, Eddie. Finyomu removed your helmet in front of you. For our people, that is the ultimate sign of trust. Certainly not something you have earned.
Odd brings us all together. Hopefully you'll see that someday.
I believe in no god. Look, I have no idea how you fooled Commander Finyomu, but your tricks are useless against me.
Mukon gripped her fingers around her blade's hilt. I closed my eyes, expecting to meet my maker. Footsteps sounded behind Mukon. I opened my eyes to see Finyomu approaching.
Commander, these two no longer deserve to be graced by your presence.
It's fine, Mukon. I wish to speak to them alone.
Mukon shot me one last scowl. After bowing at Finyomu, she departed for the elevator. For a long while, nobody spoke a word. The frown on Finyomu's face explained everything. After all, I had betrayed her trust. I did what I had to do, but it's no excuse. If God decides I must be punished, then I'll accept that will.
That call is no longer in my hands. My mother overrules everyone on this ship, including me.
So that woman is your parent? She referred to herself as Mother like it was her name.
Her identity is a secret, but yes, she's my mother. I'm only acting as commander. It's Mother who's really in control.
Well, that's great news. Our friend Mukon just told us Mother is asking to have us killed.
Please, try not to think badly of Mukon. She had everything back home, yet she gave them all up to serve on this ship with me. Nobody could ask for a better friend.
An alien walked up to Finyomu and said she was needed in the meeting room. Finyomu opened her mouth as if wanting to say something to me. In the end, she only strolled off with a sigh. The second Finyomu disappeared into the elevator, Paul rose from the bed.
That kid's headed for the meeting room. Mother's probably passing on our death sentence. We need to act right now.
Security's tighter than ever before. I hope you've got a plan. Paul pulled out a knife from under his jacket. He waved his knife in the air before hiding it again. I had given up on figuring out how he managed to smuggle such weapons in.
These aliens have forced my hand. If you chicken out, I'll leave without you. Really, why Joanna cares for you that much is just baffling.
Guess Paul did hear what Joe said during our transmission. First I lost Finyomu's trust, and now Paul intended on betraying me as well. I tried my hardest to have faith, but it was I who started this downturn by toying with Finyomu's emotions.
Go switch off all the lights. I'll figure something out in the chaos.
Paul scrambled off without telling me another word. Though I tailed him, I no longer knew whether he could be counted on. I took out all the lights as ordered. Paul had vanished from my sight. He did say he would figure something out. A couple of aliens gathered around the switch I had flipped just moments ago. Once they turned the lights back on, it would only be a matter of time until they spotted me. The aliens flicked the switch several times, yet the light refused to come on. How odd. I turned off the lights but never took out the main power. This must be Paul's doing. Mukon came dashing in my direction. I thought she had found me, but then she bolted by without stopping. Her terrified expression spelled trouble. Even the surrounding aliens looked confused by Mukon's behavior. I snuck after her to see what was up. Mukon ran into an empty corner of the ship. She pressed her palm against the wall, which slid open to reveal a hidden room. After checking the area, Mukon stepped past the opening. I pursued her, taking care not to make any noise. Too bad I gasped as soon as I saw what was inside. Countless glass tubes filled the secret room. The bodies floating inside all resembled Finyomu. One Finyomu in a chamber would have been shocking enough. Seeing so many made me wonder if I had lost it. Cables coiled all around the floor. I tripped over one and fell onto my knees.
What the... How did you get in here? No. There's no time for this. The other surfacer. He must be responsible. Where is he?
I've no idea where Paul's gone to.
This friend of yours has killed the power and taken the keys. There's no way of restoring energy to this ship.
Look, all we want is to return home alive. Just let us go. We promise to never tell anyone about your people.
There are bigger problems right now. Without power, the commander, Finyomu's gonna die.
Human, nice seeing you.
Hey there. You guys chatting about something?
We were just talking about Captain Finyomu and Mukon. Seems like those two are always together.
The two are as close as they come, I guess.
How about you, Human? You ever seen those two apart?
To be honest, sometimes it's hard to tell you guys apart from a distance.
Human, are you racist or something?
What? No, I just mean, you know, you're all in the same gear, so... Man, sorry guys. Joanna and I used to visit the same beach every year. Have you been seeing the doctor lately?
No, I stopped going since last month.
So is everything okay now?
No, Eddie. Please just leave me alone with this.
Right, sorry. I'm just worried about you.
No, I'm the one who's sorry. You know, it's depression. No one's proud of it.
You'll fight through this, Joe. God will look after you. And I will, too.
Thanks, Eddie. That means a lot.
You've already seen what's in here. Guess I might as well tell you everything. Finyomu died to a disease long ago at the age of 7. The Finyomu on this ship is a clone created by Mother.
I had no idea how to react to those words. Mukon continued while I was still dumbfounded.
Cloning is forbidden in my homeland. Finyomu was banished by our people, but her life was spared thanks to Mother's pleas. Though Finyomu was allowed to live, she must serve on the ship for eternity, never to return home.
It sounded like cloning was an issue in any society. I saw no physical defects in the Finyomu I had to deal with. Never did I imagine she was a replica.
Despite Mother's efforts, Finyomu has time and time again expired at the age of 7. The disease is embedded in her genetics. With the power out, it's only a matter of hours before these clones perish. I've no time to deal with you right now.
Despite hearing those words, I urged myself to stay alert. Paul was my only fellow surfacer on this ship. If even he deserted me, I no longer knew who I could trust.
Mukon!
Mother's voice echoed across the room. The voice came through a loudspeaker hung in the corner.
Mukon,
How could you allow that surfacer to cut off the power? It's your sworn duty to keep Finyomu safe.
Mother, my humblest apologies. I swear I'll hunt down the human and restore power to the ship.
Then turn around, you fool. He's right behind you.
Mukon and I spun around to see Paul standing by the door. The blade he had shown me earlier was now pressed against Finyomu's neck.
Looks like you've got a little secret room here. Not that I care anymore. Just fix that damn charge beam and send me home. Eddie, you never would have survived this long by yourself. I'll be generous, though. Come with me if you want to return home.
I could never hold a child hostage just to save myself. Paul, stop what you're doing and think this through.
The aliens want us executed. I'm done with talking. If that's your answer, Eddie, I'll just tell Joanna you died on this ship.
Give us the key to restore power, human. If we're to send you home, we need energy to charge that beam.
Paul paused for a moment before fishing a key from his pocket. He threw the key onto the floor. The key landed in front of me after bouncing off a few cables.
Whatever. The power outage was just a diversion anyway. What I really wanted was to take this kid hostage.
Paul must have known I would never accept such a plot. That was why he told me nothing. It disgusted me to realize I had helped him carry out the plan.
I'll be waiting in the meeting room. Let me know when you've repaired that charge beam.
Paul retreated for the elevator, dragging Finyomu along with him. Finyomu looked afraid, but gave us no hint on what she wanted us to do.
The human's nothing but lies, Mukon. Chase after him. Let this other surfacer live to serve as your guide. No doubt he knows the captor best.
The speaker clicked, and Mother said no more. Mukon took the key outside and ordered one of her underlings to restore the power. She then came back into the room with a fierce look that forced me to back a step. Paul only wants to get home. Let's spare his life at the very least.
We're moving out. Confront that human, distract him, and I'll handle the rest.
Sounded like Mukon had no interest in sparing Paul. She headed for the door without waiting for me. I trailed her, telling myself I was doing this to save Finyomu. Deep inside, I knew my priority was to save my behind. Mother said I was allowed to live only to assist on this mission. I was helping with the murder of Paul just so I could survive for a little longer.
Eddie, even you want to stand in my way now. I was right all along. The only one you can trust is yourself.
Finyomu's just a child. To hold her hostage like this, where's the justice you always speak of?
These aliens started this by kidnapping us. They brought it upon themselves.
Forget about me, Eddie. Please, just make sure you and Mukon stay safe.
I know about those clones and what happened to you. There's no need to shoulder it all on yourself. You're innocent in all this. For a while, nobody said a word. A sad smile then formed on Finyomu's face.
I'm bearing more guilt than you might think.
Got something you want to say, kid? I'd be careful if I were you. One wrong word and I'll cut your neck open.
I signaled at Finyomu to keep quiet, but she shook her head.
Before you guys showed up, I tried to tamper with the clone tubes, but I messed up and caused the charge beam to break. It's my fault you two are unable to return home. I'm sick of being trapped in this cycle. If there's no cure for my disease, let me rest. This endless suffering is unbearable.
So you're to blame for me being stuck here. You aliens keep going on about silencing us. It's you who should be executed right now.
Paul, stop.
I've had enough.
Get your hands off Commander Finyomu! You deserve death 1,000 times over!
A slash whistled through the air. Blood gushed out of the hole in Paul's throat. He opened his mouth to speak, but all that came out was more blood. After making some gurgling noises, he dropped dead on the floor. I was hoping this could have been resolved without bloodshed. Paul was dead, and I needed to accept some responsibility. It dreaded me to think how I could explain this to Joe.
No. No!
I never expected Mukon to be shocked by Paul's death. It took me several seconds to recognize she was traumatized by something quite different. Finyomu had collapsed to the floor. There was a knife sticking out of her chest. Paul must have stabbed her just before he was killed.
No. Finyomu! Hold on. I'm gonna get you some help.
It's okay, Mukon. This is where I come to pass. It's my fault you're trapped here, Eddie. I'm sorry.
It would be a lie if I said I was okay with being stuck on this ship. But at a time like this, no way I could bring myself to say such a thing. God forgives all, Finyomu. And so I will, too.
Thank you.
No. Please. Be strong.
You've sacrificed your freedom to keep me company for far too long, Mukon. Thank you. You deserved so much better. Looks like I'll never get the chance to see those stars on the surface. Free from the cycle at last. If I could be reborn as a surfacer, I want to see life above the sea. I'll always believe it. Mukon, Eddie, the surfacers and our people, we can exist together in peace.
I wrapped my fingers around Finyomu's tiny hand. Whether she felt it would forever be a mystery, as she never uttered another word. After a few more gasps, she ceased breathing altogether. The scream that Mukon produced. I never thought a living being could make such a noise. She barely had time to mourn when the wall monitor flicked on.
Mukon, how could you allow this to happen? My only daughter. I'll never forgive you humans. No surfacer is allowed to know we exist. This ship shall vanish from existence, along with everyone on board. You have all failed me. It's time I handled things personally.
We've never had any humans stay on board our ship for this long. Putting up with you is truly a test of patience.
Just how many people have you abducted through these years?
I've long since lost count. The humans all had their memories wiped before being sent home. Well, there was this one who managed to get loose and started running all around the ship. Similar to what you're doing now, actually.
Yeah? What happened to the guy?
I cut off his limbs and fed him to the fish.
It's terrifying how you can say that without a blink.
Now that you mention it, it was indeed terrifying. Captain Finyomu stopped talking to me for 2 weeks after that. Oh, what torment.
I was referring to the part about... Never mind.
Greetings, human. It looks like you have lots on your mind.
I heard Finyomu talk about Mukon. Apparently Mukon gave up her freedom to keep Finyomu company.
You heard right. Mukon never ever leaves this ship. She's forbidden from doing so, to be precise. Mukon volunteered to let herself be banished from our homeland. She did it to stop Finyomu from feeling alone. Whoops, I've said too much.
It's fine. I've already heard about it. That's quite a sacrifice.
Sure is. Mukon's scary, but a great friend as well, I guess.
You guys are on this ship too. All of you have forfeited a lot for Finyomu. The aliens traded confused looks before responding.
It's different in our case. We're allowed to return home. This is just an ordinary job for us.
I was trying to compliment these guys to keep us on good terms. They just had to ruin it for themselves like that. Let me try and turn things around. You still chose this job over any other, though. That's worthy of praise.
Actually, I'm just in it for the tax benefits. Yeah, it's a boring job, but the pay's pretty good.
Oh. I see. Joanna and I used to visit the same beach every year.
The ocean can be pretty creepy at night.
Why the sudden thought? We come here all the time.
I just watched some documentary about the Devil's Triangle. Ships and planes disappearing over the sea. Quite scary if you ask me.
It's probably just some superstition.
Maybe. I still love mysteries like that, though. It's romantic.
I thought you just said it was scary.
Boys will just never understand.
A couple of aliens burst into the room. Something must have really unnerved them, as they never even reacted to Finyomu's corpse on the floor.
Mother's here, and her squadron, too. It's over. We're all going to be killed.
I never expected Mother could have showed up this quickly. She must have a teleportation device of some kind.
Looks like Mother's really gonna purge this ship. Fear not, Surfacer. I'll keep you safe, even if it costs my life.
Mukon's sudden care for my well-being left me at a loss for words. She must have noticed my confusion as she averted her gaze from mine.
Finyomu would be sad if you were to die. That's my only reason for doing this.
If you were killed here, Finyomu would be just as sad, if not more so.
My life was forfeited the day I decided to serve on this ship. Without Finyomu, my existence has lost all meaning.
It'd break Finyomu's heart to hear you say that.
I asked Finyomu to stay pure only because that was the way I loved her best. She let her guard down because of me. There's no forgiving that.
It seemed like nothing I said would lift Mukon's spirit, even in the slightest.
Stay out of sight and push Mother's squad my way. I'll take care of them.
Mukon kept to her word and wiped out Mother's squadron. The soldiers, however, had slaughtered most of the aliens on board the ship as well. The entire ship now reeked of blood. I put a hand over my nose to stop myself from throwing up. The stench of sea was welcome by comparison. I spotted Mother heading toward the meeting room. Mukon raised her blade and charged straight for the door. Mother showed no fear whatsoever. I wondered if she even noticed the oncoming attack. Mukon swung her blade frantically at Mother, who dodged every strike with almost no effort. Mother drove an elbow onto Mukon's temple. After stumbling a few steps, Mukon collapsed onto the floor. Mother stepped over Mukon's body and into the meeting room. Though I was worried about Mukon, I snuck after Mother to see what she was plotting.
There's no need to hide, Surfacer. I know you're there.
Holding my breath, I stepped out of hiding. If even Mukon failed to bring Mother down, I for sure stood no chance.
You have no reason to be afraid. I already got what I came for.
I had a feeling this was all you wanted. If you only wanted to see Finyomu one last time, there was no need for all this bloodshed.
Just as I have eyes over this ship, my people have eyes over me. It's their will to see this ship erased from existence. If I were to disobey, I would have been executed. It's no matter. I'm branded a traitor either way. There's no way I could bring myself to destroy this ship.
This ship never should have existed. Finyomu must have felt like a prisoner in here.
Any parent would sell her soul to bring back her child. I did nothing wrong. How I have longed to touch Finyomu's face again.
Mother strode up to a locked door by the wall. She entered a passcode and the door swung open. Once she stepped through, the door shut behind her, and the room she stood in slowly began to fill with water. No, get back in here! Finyomu would never have wanted things to end this way!
Like I said, human, I've become a traitor. There's no home for me to return to. Too many have perished in the name of my selfish wish. It's only right that I join them.
I tried opening the door by punching in random passcodes. Of course, none of them yielded any result.
Give it up. If you open this door now, water will flood the entire ship. Surely you care for Mukon's well-being.
Those words discouraged me from making any further guesses on the keypad.
My child seemed to have really enjoyed your company, Surfacer. For that, I will thank you. I'm sorry for everything, Finyomu. Wait for me. I'm coming to your side now.
Ignoring my calls, Mother disappeared further into the chamber. Water eventually reached up to the ceiling. No way anyone could survive in a room like this. A minute passed, and the water level began to lower. By the time the chamber became dry, Mother was nowhere in sight. It looked like she had been sucked into the sea. Mukon whimpered as she regained consciousness and rose from the floor. I ran up to her to check if she was okay. Mukon desperately tried to wipe the tears off her face, but they refused to stop falling. I never imagined I would see her like this. She had always been one of the strongest people on this ship.
I saw Finyomu when I was unconscious. She chided me for valuing my life so lightly.
Be at peace, all of you. We summoned these guests to better understand the surface world. It's our duty to ensure they return home unharmed. You've given up everything to be with me on this ship, Mukon. I'd never chide you. I've heard about the stars that dot the skies at night, and the moon glowing faintly through the clouds. How I would love to see it all someday. Please, try not to think badly of Mukon. She had everything back home, yet she gave them all up to serve on this ship with me. Nobody could ask for a better friend. I'll always believe it. Mukon, Eddie, the surfacers and our people, we can exist together in peace.
Finyomu, I already miss her so much.
She's returned to God now. There's no need to worry. Are you sure you want to do this?
This is Finyomu's wish. Let me be the one to pull the plug.
It has to be hard with these clones still around.
Life has yet to be injected into them. They're nothing but shells in this state. I can do this.
Mukon unplugged the cables from each clone chamber. Finyomu had asked to be released. Still, for Mukon of all people to be doing this was too cruel. Once Mukon was done, she stood still with her back turned to me. I could tell she was wiping tears from her face. The tubes started to dim. In several hours' time, the clones would falter, and Finyomu would truly be no more. I gave Mukon as much time as she needed to gather herself. Eventually, she spun around to face me.
It's time for you to go.
Mukon took me into the room where Mother had ended her life. Turned out this was the decompression chamber. I needed to sit still while the chamber helped me readjust to the surface.
Wait here. I'll order my men to send you home.
Mukon walked out and shut the door behind her. A hum started to echo inside the chamber. Decompression must now be taking place. After so much had been lost, it was hard to sense much joy about going home. Around an hour passed, and the chamber door at last clicked open. It had been so long since I last saw the surface sky. Looked like it was nighttime right now. We had returned to the shore where I had been abducted. I disembarked from the ship and stepped onto the beach. For a moment, I shut my eyes to take in the warm breeze. I had been trapped inside that freezing ship for too long. At first, I thought Mukon would just send the ship back into the sea without saying a word. Instead, I spotted her climbing out with Finyomu's corpse in her arms.
Look, Finyomu. It's the stars you've always wanted to see. I guess the surface can be quite beautiful sometimes.
What's your plan from here on?
Mother said our people want this ship purged. I guess we've been exiled. If any of my men still wish to return home, once we've repaired the charge beam, I'll send them back. As for me, I shall wander these seas until I expire.
Finyomu asked you to cherish your life. Have you already forgotten?
I never said anything about giving up. This ship's been my home for the longest time. I'll hold on to hope until the very end.
Maybe you should live with us, here on the surface.
My people are unable to stay exposed to the surface air. Besides, if I were to be discovered, well, I'm better off just being forgotten at sea.
You'll never be forgotten. Just to remind you, I never had my memory erased.
Finyomu's put so much trust in your kind until the end. I will attempt to do the same.
Indeed, Finyomu had retained her faith down to her final breath. On the other hand, I was on the verge of losing my trust in others. Looked like I had been outdone by a child. You never told me where your homeland was. Of course, if you'd rather not say, I'll understand. Mukon fell quiet for a while. I thought she might have wanted to shoot down my question, but a moment later, she replied.
Deep on the seabed lies a civilization named Second Atlantis. That's where I'm from. A barrier keeps my city invisible to the naked eye. Long, long ago, it is told that we once lived on the surface, just as you're all doing now. But I will say no more. What I've just unveiled must remain a secret between us. I will let you keep your memories. Should you betray my trust, I'll take you down personally.
Your secrets are safe with me. I'm sure God has plans for you still. Everything will be fine.
I believe in no God, but thank you.
Sweat had begun to stain Mukon's face. The surface's warmth must have been of no comfort to her. Yet she struggled on to fulfill one of Finyomu's final wishes.
This is where we separate. Farewell, Edward. Maybe we'll cross paths again someday.
Mukon carried Finyomu back into the ship. I watched as the ship descended slowly back into the ocean. Long after the ship had disappeared, I continued to gaze at the horizon. People would no doubt ask where I had disappeared to. I needed to think of an excuse. No way would I betray Finyomu and Mukon's trust. With Paul gone, everything about the ship would forever remain a secret between Joe and I. Finyomu's undying faith, on the other hand, I would spread to all who I meet until the end of my days.